Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest a guy who came to New York to turn himself in.
Had clients describe MDC as hell, as the worst conditions.
Picture this. One of the most powerful figures in hip-hop, a man who spent decades in luxury, now finds himself behind the cold steel doors of one of New York's most notorious detention centers. Yes, we're talking about Diddy, the music mogul whose career has been a whirlwind of success, controversy, and excess. But now, he's not making headlines for glamorous parties or chart-topping hits. Instead, he's facing some of the harshest conditions imaginable at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. For someone accustomed to private jets and multi-million-dollar mansions, this stark shift in environment is nothing short of shocking. How did it come to this?
And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent till proven.
Can you imagine going from lounging in a $48 million mansion to being confined in a prison where even basic human needs feel like luxury? That's the stark reality for Diddy right now. He's in a place where violence is part of daily life. Moldy showers are the norm, and cockroaches are your roommates. This is the same man who spent decades rubbing elbows with A-listers. Talk about a dramatic fall from grace.
It has to be a 100% culture shock. I can't imagine living a lifestyle of the incredibly rich and famous and then going into this very dark, impersonal, cold, austere facility.
Let's get into it. Diddy's new reality at the Metropolitan Detention Center isn't pretty. The facility is infamous for its horrific conditions, and it's not just rumors. It's been the subject of lawsuits, protests, and federal investigations. Inmates have described it as hell on earth, sharing chilling horror stories of life inside. This isn't just a regular jail. It's a place where survival is a daily concern. For someone like Diddy, whose entire life has been defined by extravagance and indulgence, this is a world that's completely upside down. How will he adapt to such a drastic change?
Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door.
Let's paint a picture of Diddy's mornings in prison. Gone are the silk sheets and plush pillows. Instead, he wakes up on a thin, lumpy mattress, staring up at cracked, dirty white walls. No designer clothes, no gourmet meals, and certainly no privacy. He's sharing space with inmates who couldn't care less about his celebrity status. In fact, his fame might make things worse. Insiders say the facility is filled with gang members and hardened criminals who see someone like Diddy as a trophy, a target to be taken down for status points. It's a dangerous environment for anyone, but especially for someone like him. The physical discomfort is just one part of the struggle. The psychological toll of being thrust into such a hostile environment can break anyone down. Imagine going from being the boss in every room to having zero control over your life. Now he's at the mercy of guards, other inmates, and the brutal routines of prison life. Reports suggest he's kept in isolation for his safety, but that means he's cut off from the outside world, with contact limited to rare moments when he can speak with his legal team or family. Essentially, he's locked in a box with only his thoughts for company. We can only imagine the swirl of regret, fear, and anger flooding his mind as he grapples with this stark reality.
Government is going to mandate that they are responsible for your well-being. They have to ensure the safety of your well-being.
The conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center go beyond just bad food and lack of freedom. Inmates have long complained about inhumane treatment, with mold-infested showers, freezing cells in winter, and sweltering heat in summer. It's like being trapped in an unending nightmare. While Diddy may be a superstar outside, inside he's just another inmate trying to survive. Former inmates describe a constant fear of violence, never knowing when the next incident might erupt. Fights over minor issues, like who gets to use the phone or where someone sits at mealtime, can escalate into dangerous brawls. For someone like Diddy, already a high-profile target, this environment is particularly perilous, making his situation all the more difficult.
Housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting.
And And if you think the prison guards are any better, think again. Reports of misconduct and corruption are rampant at the Metropolitan Detention Center. Some former inmates have accused guards of turning a blind eye to fights, smuggling in contraband, and even instigating conflicts between prisoners. Survival often depends on alliances and favors, and for a celebrity like Diddy, the vulnerability is magnified. Despite these dire conditions, public reactions have been mixed. While some express concern for Diddy's well-being, others view his situation as karma finally catching up with him. Social media is flooded with comments ranging from, "He deserves everything he's getting," to "This is what happens when you play with people's lives." It's as if people are watching this unfold like a live drama, seemingly unaware, or perhaps indifferent, that this is real life and Diddy is facing serious challenges in an unforgiving environment.
Tracking music mogul Sean Diddy Combs on watch at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after 2 judges denied his request for bail. This as a grand jury is expected to hear new testimony from workers very soon.
Diddy's legal team isn't taking this lightly. They've been pushing hard for his transfer out of the Metropolitan Detention Center, arguing that the facility is unfit for any human, especially a high-profile figure like him. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, described the conditions as barbaric, emphasizing that no one should endure what's happening inside those walls. They've highlighted that the facility has faced multiple investigations over its horrendous living conditions. However, despite their persistent efforts, securing a transfer for Diddy has proven unsuccessful so far.
You say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact
Diddy's legal team has been working tirelessly to secure his transfer out of the Metropolitan Detention Center, filing multiple requests to move him to a facility with a better reputation for safety and care. Unfortunately, those requests have been denied, leaving him trapped in a deteriorating situation. Reports indicate that Diddy is under close watch by guards due to concerns about his mental state, with rumors suggesting he's been placed on a special watch list in case he begins to spiral under the immense pressure. For someone who has always maintained control over his life, this loss of power is a bitter pill to swallow. Adding to the complexity of his situation is the public perception that many believe he deserves this treatment. Diddy's rise to fame has long been shadowed by rumors and accusations, from alleged violent altercations to whispers about more sinister activities. His reputation has been a precarious mix of admiration and fear. Now, as he faces charges that could finally bring him down, a significant portion of the public is quick to say, "I told you so," reflecting a sense of schadenfreude in witnessing his dramatic fall from grace.
I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being...
But here's where it gets tricky. Is it fair to treat anyone, celebrity or not, in such a brutal manner, even if they are accused of terrible things? This debate is raging across social media. Some argue that Diddy's suffering pales in comparison to the pain he allegedly inflicted on others, while others maintain that no one deserves inhumane treatment, regardless of their past actions. It's a complicated situation, raising uncomfortable questions about justice, punishment, and the role of fame in shaping our perceptions of guilt and innocence. One thing is clear, though. Diddy's current reality is a far cry from the life he once led. He was once seen as untouchable, someone who could bend the rules thanks to his money, power, and connections. Now, all of that seems to be slipping away. He's no longer in control. He's at the mercy of a system known for its unforgiving nature. The irony isn't lost on anyone. People are watching this story unfold with a mix of shock, satisfaction, and morbid curiosity, captivated by the fall of a figure who once seemed invincible.
Sir, no judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day, "Oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice." So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes, and sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. Years ago, it was the ankle bracelet.
At the end of the day, what Diddy is going through isn't just a personal crisis. It's a reflection of how power and privilege can shift in an instant. He's gone from living in luxury to fighting for basic survival in one of the toughest detention centers in the country. Whether you believe he deserves this fate or not, his situation forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about how we treat people accused of serious crimes, especially when those individuals are as wealthy and famous as Diddy. As this narrative continues to unfold, the question remains, is Diddy's current suffering justified, or is it a symptom of a broken system that treats people as commodities to be discarded once they've lost their shine? Either way, it's clear that the story of Sean Combs is far from over. As more details emerge, the world will be watching closely to see how it all plays out. This leads us to the next big chapter in Diddy's life, the shocking events that led to his arrest and the web of allegations that have surrounded him for years. From whispers of secret deals to accusations that stretch back decades, it's time to dig deeper into the darker side of Diddy's empire.
Rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors, yeah. I don't know that there's any proof or anything other.
As we dive deeper into this wild saga, the real question isn't just about Diddy's current predicament. It's about how he ended up here in the first place. How does a man who seemed untouchable, who built an empire in music, fashion, and television, find himself facing serious allegations? It's almost like watching a slow-motion car crash that nobody saw coming. When you look closely, the signs were always there. Diddy's arrest wasn't just another case of a celebrity running afoul of the law. It was a bombshell that didn't happen out of the blue. This story has been building for years, with rumors, accusations, and whispers following him like a shadow. From the outside, it might seem like Diddy had it all: fame, fortune, and influence. But behind the scenes, things were much more complicated. So how did it all unravel?
The money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
Let's start with the moment that shocked everyone. The day of Diddy's arrest. Picture the scene. Diddy, dressed in his usual designer threads, struts into the lobby of the Park Cat Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, likely expecting another day of business as usual. His entourage is with him, and everything seems fine. But then, out of nowhere, federal agents swoop in. They approach him, separate him from his crew. And before anyone can process what's happening, Diddy is in handcuffs. Can you imagine the shock on his face? This is a guy who's used to being in control, and suddenly, all that power is stripped away in an instant.
Anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
It was a surreal moment for everyone watching, especially for the fans who had followed Diddy's career for years. If his entourage was stunned, imagine the reaction online. Social media exploded with speculation and disbelief. This was Diddy, the man who built Bad Boy Records and delivered some of the biggest hits of the 90s and 2000s. But others weren't so surprised. Diddy's reputation has always been complicated. He's been surrounded by controversy, from high-profile relationships and famous feuds to darker rumors that have lingered for years. So what exactly are the charges that landed Diddy in this mess? They're serious. We're talking about accusations of orchestrating a criminal enterprise involving everything from physical violence to shady dealings with questionable individuals. The charges include racketeering and conspiracy, but the most explosive allegations revolve around the dark, behind-the-scenes parties Diddy reportedly threw, which have gained notoriety in recent years. These weren't your average celebrity gatherings. Rumor has it these events were wild, extravagant affairs, the kind of thing you hear about in tabloid rumors, but never expect to be real.
One said that they weren't there to take stuff, they were there to delete everything. Like the real people that were in there,
Oh,
like
that's
the same
funny.
thing with Epstein.
The wildest part. According to some reports, these parties weren't just about flaunting wealth. They allegedly involved manipulation and coercion to maintain Diddy's image and control. Insiders claim he had an entire network helping him orchestrate this, not just to keep the party going, but to keep the truth from getting out. However, as we've seen with many powerful figures, the truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how hard you try to bury it.
Problems that the defense has brought up originally, but it seems like, just from reading this 14-page indictment, that there is enough physical evidence to perhaps get a conviction in this case. We will.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Long before his arrest, whispers suggested Diddy might have been involved in even darker dealings. These rumors grew louder as more people came forward with accusations. Yet Diddy always seemed to slip through the cracks. It was almost as if he was protected by something, or someone, much bigger than anyone ever realized.
What is next? Is he going to be in jail in this facility until the trial begins? Is there a chance he could, get moved earlier than that?
As of this moment, as of this hour, as of today, yes. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to be appealing this thing next to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals to overturn the judge's order here to try and get him actually released.
This brings us to one of the most controversial rumors surrounding Diddy. The idea that he might have been working with the FBI. Yes, you heard that right. Some believe Diddy has been an informant for years, explaining how he's managed to dodge serious legal trouble. This theory gained traction after his longtime nemesis, Suge Knight, publicly claimed that Diddy had been collaborating with federal authorities. Knight, no stranger to controversy himself, didn't hold back, suggesting that Diddy's close ties with law enforcement might explain his immunity from serious legal consequences. While it sounds wild, in the world of hip-hop, where rivalries run deep and conspiracies abound, it's not entirely far-fetched. Diddy has been connected to some of the most infamous moments in rap history, including the East Coast-West Coast feud that defined the 90s and culminated in the tragic deaths of Tupac Shakur and the Notorious Big. There have long been rumors about Diddy's involvement in the events leading up to Tupac's demise, although nothing has ever been proven. The speculation adds another layer of intrigue to Diddy's already complex legacy.
He could help us craft, he could build his separate jail cell, and we could keep him there. Just interesting to me that they sort of said, nope, you're going to be treated not like everybody else, but a lot like everybody else. Having money doesn't do it. So I wouldn't want to be those judges. There's sort of a no-win situation for the...
With Suge Knight stirring the pot and the media revisiting these old stories, it's no wonder people are starting to view Diddy's situation through a different lens. Could it be that Diddy's current legal troubles are linked to his past? Perhaps the charges he faces now are the consequences of actions from decades ago, finally catching up to him.
There's layers upon layers. When you get into these conspiracy theories, man, they never end. They never end. There's just layers upon layers.
Let's take a step back to examine Diddy's rise to power. He didn't just stumble into the spotlight. He climbed the ranks, starting as an intern at Uptown Records, before founding Bad Boy Records in 1993. Quickly, he established himself as a formidable force, discovering legendary artists like the Notorious Big, Faith Evans, and 112. Bad Boy became synonymous with success, and Diddy was the mastermind behind the scenes, producing hits, appearing in music videos, and even stepping in front of the mic himself. Songs like Can't Nobody Hold Me Down and I'll Be Missing You solidified his status as one of the biggest names in hip-hop. However, this success came with a darker side. Diddy's empire wasn't just built on talent, it was built on power. There are countless stories about the lengths he allegedly went to in order to maintain his position. Some say he used intimidation tactics to control artists, while others claim he had dirt on everyone in the industry, giving him leverage when needed. If these rumors are true, it wouldn't be the first time a powerful figure in entertainment used secrets to keep their kingdom intact, raising questions about the true cost of success in a cutthroat industry.
Alleged evidence that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles, and the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances.
Then there are the accusations from within Diddy's own circle. One of the most damning allegations comes from Rodney L. Rod Jones, a former producer who worked closely with him. Jones has accused Diddy of shocking behavior, claiming he was pressured into situations that went far beyond the music industry. According to Jones, Diddy exerted a control that transcended business, manipulating people into scenarios they couldn't easily escape. Those who crossed him, he alleges, faced swift repercussions. Jones isn't alone. Several other former associates have stepped forward with similar accounts, painting a picture of a man willing to do whatever it took to maintain his status. These accusations have simmered for years, but Diddy's arrest has brought them to the forefront. Now, with lawsuits piling up and more individuals coming forward, it seems the walls are finally closing in around him. The cumulative weight of these allegations raises serious questions about the lengths to which Diddy may have gone to protect his empire.
They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about a wrongful prosecution, because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
Here's the thing. Diddy has always been a master of reinvention. He's faced scandals before, each time bouncing back stronger than ever. But will this time be different? The charges he's facing are among the most serious of his career, and the evidence against him appears to be mounting. Yet, if there's one thing we've learned about Diddy over the years, it's that he doesn't go down without a fight. The question remains, can he reclaim his power once more?
Well, if he really was filming everybody, I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right?
In fact, Diddy's legal team is gearing up for what's expected to be a long and intense court battle. They're pushing hard to discredit the allegations, calling them baseless and accusing Diddy's accusers of trying to cash in on his fame. His lawyers point out that many of the individuals making claims against him are former employees or associates with potential axes to grind. Let's not forget that Diddy has settled lawsuits before, most notably with his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, who accused him of mistreating her during their relationship. While his legal team focuses on the courtroom, another battle rages in the court of public opinion, a much tougher fight to win. The internet is alive with speculation about what's really happening. Some fans are standing by him, insisting the charges are exaggerated or even fabricated. Others, however, believe this is just the tip of the iceberg and that Diddy's true character is finally being exposed for the world to see. As opinions continue to clash, the stakes for Diddy have never been higher.
In the general population, and would he be at risk? Sure, he'd be at risk. There's so many people that have nothing to lose, right? They're going to be in jail the rest of their life. They've got nothing to, they want their 15 minutes of fame. They were friends with Diddy, or they hurt Diddy, or they Diddy, or they did. I mean, there's so many, people in jail that this would be their moment. You can't put them there. Plus,
rumors about Diddy's connections to law enforcement, his alleged involvement in past rivalries, and supposed manipulative tactics in the industry have woven a narrative that's hard to ignore. Whether you believe the rumors or not, it's clear that Diddy's legacy is at risk. Even if he manages to beat the charges, the damage to his reputation could be permanent. In today's world, public perception can be just as powerful as any legal ruling, making the stakes even higher for him moving forward.
Jail is bad, and some jails are worse than others. And the problem, again, is if you move him, why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail, is not your first argument.
As we wait to see how this all plays out, one thing is certain. Diddy's story is far from over. He has built his life on being larger than life, crafting a persona that's part mogul, part myth. Now, that myth is being put to the test, and the world is watching to see if he can withstand the scrutiny. Will he be able to clear his name, or is this the beginning of the end for one of hip-hop's biggest icons? Only time will tell, but it's clear that this narrative has captured the attention of millions and isn't going away anytime soon. With everything we've uncovered, what do you think? Is Diddy finally facing the consequences he deserves, or is this just another example of the system coming down hard on someone when they're at their lowest? Does his past justify what he's going through now? Let us know in the comments what you think about this complicated and wild story. Until next time, stay curious.